Hi folks, thanks for joining me once again. Today I have a kit review for you of the VandyVape Jackaroo kit. This is the sample packaging I received from eCigClick. Great peeps over there, go and have a look. Real good website, loads of reviews on all the latest products and all the older stuff that's come out before. If you're looking at a product but you're not sure about it, go and have a look on eCigClick's website and you'll find out a lot more and a lot of detail about everything in the vape world. Great website. The Jackaroo kit. IP67, so the mod itself is waterproof, dustproof, shockproof. You can throw it around if you're so inclined. You can smash it up and it should be pretty tough and sturdy. Comes in all sorts of colours. The panels on the side are either like a G10, which is like using guns, I think, and there's also some resin panels, loads of choices, and apparently you can swap them over. It's a single battery mod, takes an 18650, 2700 and 21700. Let's do the usual, go and unbox it, look through the menu briefly, fill up with liquid, I'll give a good vape and I'll come back and tell you all about it. Let's crack on. Right then. Let us not mess around. This is the box that your Jackaroo kit might come in, with very slightly different text on the front. As you can see, this is a sample packaging. I can't believe I've got a sample box, it's great. My first. Well, this is very similar anyway. Not a great deal to show you on the box anyway, just the usual malarkey. On the back, warnings, description. Now this obviously doesn't have any details of excuse me, what you'll get in the box, but it gives you a good idea. This is probably what is going to come in. So slide that out, and that's the kit. We'll talk about these in a minute. There's obviously a couple of different styles going on. Let's start with the boring stuff. Let's get the accessory box out, and in here you will get, I assume, yeah, little bag of O-rings and a USB firmware upgrade cable, just stuffed in there very nicely. Right underneath you see you've got the warning cards and stuff, so I'll probably just ping them up here so you can see what they are. Let's carry on. Let's start with the mod. Now this is the very sturdy IP67 Jackaroo mod, which feels quite nice in the hand. It's got this nice rubberized silicone-y but like tough feel to it. It feels very robust, feels very tough, and this kind of texture on here is real hard. Are we spring loaded? Are we spring loaded? I assume so. Yeah, nicely spring loaded. Oh, beautiful. It's a nice throw on it as well. And you've got your fire button and your plus minus options buttons on the front there, and the display. And on the base, this is where you fit your battery. Now this will take a 21700, a 2700, and with this adapter, an 18650. So it covers all bases, and inside it's all nicely dark, so you can't see what's in there, but it's labelled up anyway as a nice positive plus bit in there, and on the base you can see shows there, and this is all nicely machined and well made, and nice O-ring there to keep the seal, to keep that IP rating. That's one of the big things, especially when they're competing against the Geek Vape Aegis Legend. Okay, let's get on with the other good stuff. Now this one obviously has the 2mm glass tank, and I think it's a 5mm bubble glass. Guys in the UK obviously won't get that. You hopefully will still get a spare glass though. So let's put it to one side. Let's look at this coil. Two coils you get. You get a 0.15 mesh and a 0.3 ohm mesh. So we'll look at both and we'll see the difference. Right, here we go. Are you going to let me focus? There you go. Right then. There we go. 0.3 ohm, recommended 40 to 60 watts. And it's like that. It's like that garden netting style. You know that stuff it comes on rolls? You get it on building sites and stuff and they just pull it out. It's that kind of style. But it all looks very nice. I like how you don't have much of a gap here. See, just in there, sometimes this mesh that goes kind of 3/4 of the way around, that goes nearly all the way around, which is covering all that lovely cotton. Okay, so that's that one coil. Let's have a look at the Jackaroo tank. Yes, she is.
Standard configuration. 510 drip tip on top. I like the drip tip. I think the drip tip looks really nice. Beautiful. And the airflow max and fully locked, and obviously whatever you do on that side is the same on that side. 510 at the bottom. Oh, this is so cool. 001, that's so cool. Such a geek. Right, twist off. Okay, that's all it is. Just a 45 degree or 90 degree turn, and there you go. Just the one filling slot on here, but there's a nice thick strong silicone seal there, and little turn, and away she spins. Let's get out this other coil very quickly. Let's have a look in the base. Ooh, a bit grubby in there. That's just a print or something, but it's all well machined. Feels solid. Feels good. It's like I guess it's like a powder coat or something, but it feels very strong stuff. Okay, what we've got here, the 0.15 ohm, recommended 50 to 90 watts, and this, I hope we can see this. See if we can get right in there. Look at that for a mesh. That's a proper mesh, isn't it? That's covering all the cotton. So the 0.15 looks pretty neat. Right then, let's see if we can get this off. Yes, I'm going to pop this bubble glass in. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, and then screw this 0.15 in. Put that all back together. Oh, hello. Oh, how's this going to work? Let's pop that out again. Learning curve. The only way to do these things is to just give it a go, and then you can see the kind of issues that you might have. The kind of little annoying niggly things. So we all learn together. That is not screwing on there now. What have I done differently? What have I done wrong? No, it's not having it. Oh, yeah, it is. Alright, it's just a bit fiddly where I've put that glass on, but it does go eventually. Still, that's something you might come across. Oh, knock the camera. There you go. That's with the bubble glass. Still looks pretty neat, pretty smart. Even with the bubble. Right, okay, I'm very quickly going to pop a battery in this, which is obviously either an 18650, 21700 or 2700. I've got a 21700 sitting here. So let's unscrew this again. Oh no, that's a bit of a fiddle. If you've got fat fingers like me, then you're not going to be able to flick that up very easily. In she goes. And on she goes. Oh, I didn't even see. Let's turn it off again. Let's have a look. Oh, doo-doo, Sega. Excuse me, right. I'm not going to go into massive detail, but I will go through the basics with this kit. Obviously, like I said, fire button, wattage up, wattage down. That is on maximum 100 watts. You can't round robin, so you're going to have to flick all the way down to 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3. And it changes this option here. So I have this one set just between voltage and wattage. Some of you want the other modes. I'll show you how to get that. Press fire back and again, and it takes you back to normal. Press and hold these two, and then you get into your options. Top one's the most important one, the one I'll show you in a second. DIY is where you can set your own modes. Brightness, very simply 0 up to 9. And it's a nice bright screen. How long before the device switches off? This is where you reset your puff counter. The version of the mod, Oh no, there you go, the Vandy chip ID, that's what I was looking for. And then back to there. So I'll very quickly press and hold the two buttons again. This is where you can change your settings. Now the good thing about this, you can turn off different modes. So as you can probably see there, maybe just see, I've got the voltage mode on, off, on. Okay, so once you've chosen that on, now I've got temperature control off, bypass is off, C is where you can change your colour. Once you go there, you go back this way. Let's leave it on that. ARR, I'm not sure about that, so I'll tell you about that at the top. I don't know what ARR is. And FIR, I think it's to do with locking the fire button or locking the controls, and RST is reset. So once you've done that, press and hold the fire button, and it takes you back to the main menu. Right, very quickly go and pick out a juice, and we'll fill this up and go back up top, and I'll tell you what I think.
And that was the Jackaroo kit by VandyVape. Psh. There she is. 1 week on from that unboxing. Right, let's get the important stuff out of the way. I didn't smash this kit up. I didn't spend a week throwing it around and driving over it and all the other kind of cool stuff that you could quite easily have done and had a lot of fun with. I tried to treat it like I treat my Aegis Legend. If you don't know, I work in the trade, so pretty rigorous job at times. And that Legend I've had for 6 months is usually in my pocket or on the side of a dusty shelf, you know, getting covered in brick dust and all that kind of stuff. It gets a bit of a beating. And as you can see, guys, it's still mint. And genuinely, I haven't wiped it over. I mean, there's a bit of abuse and a few scuffs, but it's really sturdy, really strong, really trustworthy. And that's what this needs to be. So I've just spent a week living with it. We have missed my Legend, but I've given this a good bash, and if we see closely, hopefully you can see, there is the odd scuff, tiny little scratches on some of the screws. There's real tiny scratches now on the G10 panels, which does concern me that over time these will just wear down white. Can you see any obvious ones? Yeah, I mean, it's real, you have to look real close up. I wonder over a couple of months or even longer whether that's going to wear down, but generally it still looks immaculate a week down the line, and I have kind of used it as I would use my Aegis Legend. So for general wear and tear over just a week, it's been very tough, very strong. Sorry to jump into the video like this, guys. I'm sure you're all thoroughly enjoying yourselves watching my review. I put this video out, well, I put it on YouTube unpublished, and it sat there for a couple of days, and then I thought, you know what, I really should have beaten this device up a bit more. I should have given it a bit more of a test. Obviously, like I say, I had a bit of a bashing at work, but nothing major. Just got dropped a couple of times. Fortunately, it landed on the mod each time. I didn't smash the tank, which was good. But I thought, what the hell? I put it in a big vase. You'll see an image come up here, hopefully now. Big vase full of water, and I left it for over 30 minutes. Once it had done that time, I took it out. Battery compartment was completely bone dry, and it worked and functioned properly and perfectly. No moisture or water or anything like that got under the screen cover. The only thing I would say is if you do happen to drop it in water, take the two side panels off and give them a good dry out, because water does get trapped under there. So I ended up taking the 2 panels off and drying that out. After that, I played a bit of football with it, and I kicked it about and threw it about and had a bit of fun. And you will see some pictures, but this is what it looks like now. It's just a bit scratched and scuffed. I mean, the rubber, probably can't even see, but the rubber shell to this device is just still tough. Where's the worst bit? No, I mean, that's the worst bit on the rubber. So it's just the side panels, which are replaceable. So it's not a big deal. Obviously, over time that'll wear down. You end up with these horrible white panels, but it's not bad at all, really. So it passes the shockproof and durability test with flying colours, along with the waterproofing test. Obviously, the chances of you leaving it underwater of more than a metre depth for more than 30 minutes are pretty slim. But I suppose as it has that IP rating, you've got to prove it. So, you know, for my trials, I was pretty pleased with it, and it all works and functions fine. Anyway, I'll let you carry on with watching the rest of my review. Thanks, guys. Very strong. Let's do the other things to do with the feel of it. It feels really nice in the hand. All around the back here's all this rubber feel, and it grips nice, a nice size. Especially for my hands, it fits lovely. The mod, the settings, all that kind of stuff is brilliant. ARR, had a look into that. That's all to do with the atomizer reset. So obviously when you put on a new tank, how often it kind of says, is this a new coil or an old coil? So you can either kind of turn the option off so it will identify itself when it's a new coil. Just thought I'd get out of the way before I forget. So I've got the 0.3 ohm coil in here. I'm vaping her at 50 watts. Let's give her a little bash, shall we? Beautiful, beautiful. The tank, okay, the 2 coils, the 0.15 and the 0.3. Let's talk about the 0.15. I vape this generally at about 70 watts, airflow wide open, and vapor production and flavour, more importantly, was really good. Really impressive for quite a short tank. It performed really well, real nice. Even straight off the bat, once I'd let the coils kind of soak in that liquid, the flavour was there. There wasn't much of a bedding in time, really. You know, once I got through the first tank, it was well, even before I got through the first tank, it was more than satisfying, so that was good. But 70 watts is quite high on a 21700 to vape all day. It didn't last all day. The days I had this coil in, I was swapping out. It just about lasted your work day, so 8 hours, but that was at a bit of a push. On the 0.3, flavour vapor wise, pretty much the same. Didn't notice much of a difference, which I'm pleased about, because with the 0.3 I was at 50 watts, airflow halfway open. That's what I've got in here now. Vapes like a champ, just as well as the 0.15, both very similar, but your wattage is down to 50 watts, so my battery life improved slightly. So I was still having to use a second battery near the end of the day, but it was getting me a little bit further. So it's perhaps if you know you're going to be at the house for more than 6, 7, 8 hours, and you only happen to have one battery, the 0.3 ohm coil is the way to go. What I was going to tell you about the tank, it's great. It's a great little tank. The top feels nice and simple. I've had no leaks. I don't get any spit back. The airflows it's quite stiff, but it's nice and restrictive. It's a lovely vape, real nice vape. So the tank itself has been brilliant, and the mod's fine. Let's talk about the very minor niggly cons that I've found with this device, and there's not many, to be honest. The battery life is the big one. It don't last all day, and for some people that's just not going to be any good. Obviously you can't charge this device. You can take this front panel off and you have a USB at the bottom here, but that's purely for firmware upgrades. So you can't kind of just plug it in for a little boost during the day. These are niggly cons. This, to open the battery compartment, you've either got to have baby fingers or just fight it until it opens. And I have scratched my finger a couple of times from when I'm doing that and trying to get it. Your finger brushes past it and I've scratched my finger. It's the real petty cons, but I'm afraid that's all I've got. But it's very minor, very minor. And they should have made that black. It just looks ugly on the back, and it has worn slightly because this section here, quite across the middle, where obviously the bar is actually slightly raised. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. No, you're not going to see it, but it's very slightly raised, so it starts to wear on that bottom part. Generally, let's talk very general terms. The coils, 7.5 out of 10, both coils, 70 watts and 50 watts respectively. It's a good flavourful tank. Does everything you can ask of it. The mod is hard wearing. It will last. It will be durable. You will need 2 batteries with you if you're out and about for longer than 6, 7, 8 hours, depending obviously on how much you vape. Yeah, I'm really impressed with it. Really impressed with it. Would I swap it for this? No. As good as it is, as good as the tank is, and as durable and as tough and as comfortable as it feels, I'll still stick with my Aegis Legend, thank you very much. It's no disrespect to this, doesn't mean this isn't as good. It's just the battery issue. I think that's the big thing for me. I can trust this to last me all day, nearly all day. The amount of vape at times, sometimes I have to swap them out near the end of the day. But I know this will last me at least 8 hours every day, guaranteed. And for me, it just feels a little bit better, but that doesn't mean this isn't going to do the job for you. If you're in the trade, or even if you're not in the trade, if you're clumsy and you're used to smashing things up and dropping things, then yeah, you might say goodbye to the tank a couple of times from smashing that, or at least the glass. But the mod's going to last, and I think it'll be very trustworthy. So that's about it. I hope this is helpful, guys. Don't forget to hit the like button or subscribe if you fancy it. I'm FlatCap Vaper. Thanks for watching.